Hey guys, everyone in my Discord, give you guys update. Everything's going on related to Bitcoin, but I want to go over the traditional financial markets. I made a post on Eli Lilly for some of you guys that might be interested in a longer term type thing. I know my Discord's more of a trading deal. As you can tell, I'm not really a proponent of holding Bitcoin long term. That's obviously for the past 10 years, it was a good deal to hold it long term. But now I'm not too sure about it right now. 29,000, 30,000, 31,000 on Bitcoin. To buy it right now, in my opinion, it's questionable. If depends on how old somebody was. If they're in their 20s or 30s, I'd say maybe. If they're older, I would be like, nah, we need to go elsewhere to be checking on something like that. What I would probably be saying there on the position that Bitcoin is in. So anyhow, most of you that are listening to the Discord, my name's Greg. Don't know who I am. I'm going to go to it's in general NASDAQ, S&P 500. I hope that you understand the S&P 500 and NASDAQ are in a topping pattern. Topping process. The topping process takes time. It's not going in 2 weeks or 3 weeks. This happens in 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, possibly. Okay. So just give you an idea, the S&P 500, you have your crash videos out on the S&P 500 on the monthly chart. And you can see the long-term algos has the S&P coming up for another run into there. And oh, that's actually a long time. So it's going to be peaking out in 2024. So the S&P 500 still got a room to run in there, guys. Okay. So it's in this leg right here. You can see. Let me go to a weekly chart. I can get SP 500 on a quarterly chart with the algos, guys, the cash index. So here's the S&P 500, guys. More than likely, what we're looking at here is a third wave of some sorts. Okay. So this could be an extended correction, back down, up, back over here to the 21 period moving average. Okay. And it's going to finish off its fifth wave all the way into February, March 2024. Okay. So it looks like right here, 1, 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. For a third. So it's down 4. So this would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then up for that 5. It's going to be the topping process. Okay. Same thing with the NASDAQ. I went videos, made it, showed you guys the big tech stocks that took off out of the bottom and rocketed out of there. They're all coming in topping patterns. Okay. They're coming in topping patterns. Some of them are like NVIDIA as an example, or maybe Apple. That's going to be all over the news, all over YouTube, all over the media. The big boy Apple is coming down now. So that means all the market must come down, guys. It doesn't work quite like that. It's going to be a rotation into the ones that are below that in the big cap sector, and they're going to be rotating into other sectors of the market. Okay. So there's rotation going on to finish off the topping process on the markets, guys. So it's not, if Apple goes up and it drives down. Now, will it put a dent in the NASDAQ? Yeah, it'll put a little bit of a dent in the NASDAQ, but it doesn't mean it's quite over yet. As a matter of fact, let me look at the NDQs right now, guys. Same thing with the NASDAQ here, guys. So topping process pretty much about the same time. It's going to be slowing up even more than the S&P 500. Probably more of a rotation in the S&P 500 going into other sectors like Eli Lilly, for example, banking sector stocks that got beat down, and they're rotating over in that section, guys. Okay. Is that good for Bitcoin? Not really. I don't think so. You really want to pay attention to the tech stocks in Bitcoin. So and the NASDAQ, the riskiest sector are the tech stocks, okay? Obviously, they go up a lot more, but they come down a lot more too. So like Bitcoin. So that you kind of want to do a comparative analysis with the tech stocks, and the tech stocks are running out of steam, guys, in the NASDAQ. The big ones are anyhow. Smaller ones out there are doing pretty good. So that pretty much means it's going to be the same thing for Bitcoin, guys, all right? So here's Bitcoin on the daily chart, just sitting in that section, okay? Bitcoin is coming into a topping process, guys. Okay. Where is this going to end up? Who knows? Who knows? I mean, 36,000 right now seems like, is it going to even make that? Makes you wonder. But I'll let you know right now for Bitcoin, it's going to be up and to the right, probably not that aggressive for Bitcoin going into, it looks like September. And maybe I'll show you on a weekly, maybe into late September or early October, something like that. Okay. So here are the daily algos. Here's Bitcoin in this area going sideways as usual. doing what it likes to do on the weekends. And it does suggest in this daily algos, there's going to be a thrust up and then a correction possibly going into the end of August. Okay. So it looks like Bitcoin is going to be in this area for the weekend, maybe down a little bit more. And it's going to make a thrust to the 21 period, the 40 period moving average. It could wick out beyond that up to 30K and then make a move back down just like this, guys. And then it's going to get ready for this run. Okay. So if you're in a trade with Bitcoin, you know, you could take an exit out there. Okay. Just remember, you know, you might not get this and you could miss that. You have to realize that's the risk you're taking on that trade right there. Okay. Now, if you are in a trade, just realize it could pop up and you have to have more patience. And then you have to, you know, add to your bag or your position in this area to ride that section right up over there. Now you can see this is not going to be that aggressive, guys. It looks like, let's say 24 August and probably a peak. It usually doesn't peak. You see the peak right there. It usually doesn't peak in that section. Okay. So let me take this off. So usually the peak is somewhere like, you see how it peaked over here in this, the wave over here. It was kind of like next to it. So usually the peak is going to be like maybe in this section. So it could be this leg right here on Bitcoin could take just 2 weeks, guys. Okay. So it could get aggressive. Looking at the daily chart on the candle section, you do have a clear break of the trend and a back test. You know, if you want to go with this type of technical analysis on Bitcoin, which some would do, is like that, which is a bullish signal. You can see in this section here, you see how these candles came down. It has kind of like the same formation and it came down and just ripped out of there. You're probably going to, it's a similar scenario down here, just coming down, rip, and it's probably going to do the same thing and bore people out of the market. And most people are going to miss this, except for people that are holding it long term. Okay, guys. So that's the deal with Bitcoin. What I'm looking at, now go to the weekly chart and go over the algos too. Here is the weekly chart going back in over here. So you can see here's October. That does not mean it's going to peak in October. It could be somewhere in September, but you can see it's predicting a pretty crash, or not crash, but correction over here, guys. Okay, so far on the weekly. So weekly is going to update again on Sunday. The week algos, okay. You know, like I said, just the weekly algos makes me pause about taking, you know, profits or taking a position out in the current trade that I'm in with Bitcoin because of what I see down here on the weekly. Okay, guys. I'm going to go over some data points here. So with you guys, okay, get you guys to understand these algos. This, for those who don't know and are new, these are price pressure momentum indicators using a first derivative, which is the red, and the second derivative, okay? It's a sophisticated RSI that took years to develop, okay? So, and it's an algorithm. So you can see right here on the weekly, there's a thrust in this area. This is looks like it's bottoming out, and it's getting ready to not really thrust, but get out of there on this BPM2, and a massive thrust in the 40, which is okay. And then down here, you can see it's going to be doing a thrust, and then that's the correction I was talking about up there in this section, okay, guys? So, the deal is that it could, according to these weekly PPMs, at any moment next week, Bitcoin could just rip out of there and make a candle like this, okay? Like this. Just be sideways and make a candle and then go sideways, you know, like maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then just go sideways again, back down like that, guys. So I would not be surprised if Bitcoin does something like that. So if you're in trade right now with Bitcoin and it does look like it's going to make a corrective move up to retrace back down, you could miss this this move over here, okay, guys? Now, the other thing I want to make you guys aware of, if you come down here to the PPM 200, so I'm down here in the bottom, all right? So now this data point uses the number next to it, kind of like RSI that everybody uses. I think it's the 70 and the 30. If it's above 70, it's real bullish. Below 30, it's real bearish, right? Well, this one actually uses the numbers to the side. So you can see 0.43. It actually gets a lot more sophisticated than this, guys. If you're like a math geek, okay, go watch Bob. And there's some serious math geek behind this stuff. I mean, serious, man. It's like the guy, to me, it's very, very credible that he figured this out. But anyhow, you see the number over at the side? It says 0.45. So right now on the PPM 200, it's 0.39. Now, anything above 0.25 means that it's in a positive trend, okay? For Bitcoin, that's nothing, guys. Bitcoin in a serious bullish trend would be in the ones, the twos, threes, things like that when it's way over there, guys. So this is actually a very, very weak trend for Bitcoin, but you can see during the time it's going to go more of a positive trend in October where it's 0.46. And then there's going to be a thrust that's going to bring it all the way up into 0.52, which is, this looks like it's going to be, it looks like it could be a mini blow off top, guys, is what I'm predicting with Bitcoin. So I wanted to give you guys that update on the longer term timeframes. It's going to be sideways with Bitcoin. I'll post updates on some of the coins. It looks like it may be, we have to enter in early, maybe on some of these coins. I want to be very careful, guys, with Bitcoin going like this on some of those altcoins that could pop if you're in a short. Okay. So I am a little bit hesitant. I know some of you guys want to jump on that maker short. You know, just be careful. Some of those coins that ran up real high all of a sudden and they come over, they do a deep correction. They can bounce over there pretty good, go back up to highs, even take out the highs, things like that. Okay, guys. So just be careful of that. All right. That's pretty much it for the update. I wanted to give you that, guys, to paint the picture of what's going on. So you're 1 or 2 steps ahead of the market. I'm going to break it into 50-50 right now, just to make it simplistic. I don't think it's like that. Obviously it's not, but you have 50% of the market. Actually, I'd say 70% of the cryptocurrency market, literally going, this is a new bull market. This is the pre-halving cycle. Next year at the pre-halving event is going to be the moonshot on Bitcoin. And I'm letting you guys know the stars are not aligning for that. Bitcoin's coming into a topping process, whether it's going to roll over and do a second wave correction. It doesn't have the telltale signs, guys, of a impulsive move of what Bitcoin is in right now. Okay, even though there's impulse move, you can have a correction. You can have an ABC with impulse moves in it. 5-3, kind of like the gentleman that what's his name? I'm trying to think of that guy's name. The Australian guy, he came up with the system where he actually didn't come up with it. He used Elliott waves. He came up divided by 3.5 or 5/3 or something like that. And you get the thing. It's Elliott waves, guys. And if you think about that on the whole big grand scheme of things, it's the Elliott waves uses Fibonacci, which is 5s and 3s. And he came up with 5 and 3. Okay. And he did it 3 times. Okay. That confirms to me that he found not the next point of the next cycle. He found the top, which was just the possible top on Bitcoin over there for November 2021. And Bitcoin now is in a massive correction, guys, if that makes sense. So let me go over here. I'll show you guys something. Let me go to a weekly chart. Let me explain this to you guys, okay? So let me go to the BLX, all right? I'm going to go to the BLX, guys, okay? I'm putting on logarithmic. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Try to make this simplistic. Take off this dip. All right. Okay. So here is all of Bitcoin on a weekly chart, right? It's taken a while for it to populate. Here's all of Bitcoin on a weekly chart, okay? So he took all of these legs and he divided it by 3/5 or 5 or whatever he did to come up with the side of the next leg. In my opinion, it's what he accidentally did is he hasn't realized that this is a top, and more than likely Bitcoin, this is Bitcoin's cycle, and here's the top, and then it's correcting the cycle up and over here, guys. Okay, is possibly what could be going on with Bitcoin. Unfortunately, it can't, it can't sustain this. Bitcoin can't sustain this. At some point, there needs to be a correction, guys, okay, to correct the cycle, okay, to continue to go back on. So now, I don't know 100% if this is the wave up and then it's correcting to go into another wave like this, third wave, or maybe it's a complex correction. It's going to hang out over here. It could be A, B, C. You're just not going to know till you get there. Or is this going to be A, B, C? We're just not going to know until you get there. It's all big speculation. I just know that this right here is coming up to a top. There's going to be a severe correction, okay? Whether you want to call it a wave 2 or a B wave, this here in this section is going to dramatically come down. Probably in the after the topping process, which takes time, up here It'll be up here for a little while. And on the weekly chart, it'll probably go right underneath the 200 SMA and do a back test. And it'll probably be something like this over here. Okay. Like that. Okay, guys. And you don't want to be long. You do not want to be long in Bitcoin and in altcoins when that happens. Okay. Again, if you're new to my Discord, I know a few more people have joined up recently. I do appreciate you. Thank you for joining. If you have any questions, just shoot me a message. Keep it in the forum. I see some people are trying to do a DM me on the Discord. I really can't keep up with that, guys, because between the Discord, Twitter, and all this other stuff, and keeping track of trades and things like that, it gets it's hard to keep up with. Just post the question in the forum. You're asking me, and then everybody else can see the question too, and maybe learn from that also too, or maybe get some more information out of a trade or whatever we're talking about in the cryptocurrency market. That would be really, really nice if you guys would do that. All right. Again, welcome to the Discord. If you're new, my name's Greg, and enjoy your weekend with possible sideways action with Bitcoin. But the algo suggests there might be a pump in Sunday night. Possibly. We shall see. Peace.